Jada Pinkett Smith and Will Smith have been together for years now, but it seems like Will ignored a ton of red flags when it came to their relationship now starting. We have Jada's relationship with Tupac Shakur. Now it's a huge red flag in general now. Jada and Tupac first met as classmates when they were both at the Baltimore School for the Arts back in the 1980s now in 1995. Jada revealed that she visited the rapper while he was serving time on Rikers Island. She spoke about this in her memoir and in interviews, saying seeing him there, the condition he was in, and having to leave him there, he was in bad shape. She went even further by revealing that Tupac proposed to her during one of her visits, so when he asked me to get married, I knew at that time that he needed somebody to do time with him, which I was going to do anyway. You ain't have to marry me to do time. I'm here, she said. Jay then added that she viewed the proposal as Henna Need's support system, and not because he loved her or wanted to get married. She noted that the marriage proposal wouldn't have amounted to anything at the end of the day because of our friendship. And because of everything we've been through together, he just wanted to feel that solidified foundation. You know, because I promise you he would have married and divorced me as soon as his butt left jail, she said now when he was released from prison. She said the two of them met for lunch where they argued, she wrote in her memoir. His whole vibe has changed since his association with Suge, she says, and writes that after expressing her concern over Tupac's new Get Down, it kicked off a hailstorm of rage, in which the rapper accused Jada of having gone Hollywood. Next thing I knew, he was done talking. And so was I, she says in the memoir now. Even though the fight was bad, Jada said she believed that they would eventually come around and make up, but that was up to Tupac now. Unfortunately, though he passed away, before they could rekindle their friendship, they went a year without speaking to each other, and then it was too late. Then there's Jada's belief in Scientology. Jada says that she has never been a fan of organized religion, but she didn't feel negatively about Scientology, unlike many people. But I mean, hey, there are a handful of celebrities who truly love Scientology, so it wouldn't be too shocking while she says she was drawn to Scientology's general teachings. In her book, she explains, I was very clear when I stepped into the Church of Scientology that becoming a member would not be possible, or was my goal still. Vester says she embraced the church's basic study manual while homeschooling her children. Jaden and Willow Smith Nojet has defended her use of Scientology to homeschool her children and claimed that it was better than traditional learning. She wrote, some of the controversy about my approach to education probably had to do with the use of the study technology learning, the method I discovered when I was introduced to Scientology. But a former Scientology member says that Jada was a recruiter for the organization and that she lied about not being a member of Sam Domingo, who was a Scientologist for 20 years before leaving in 2009, said that she encountered Jada at the Church of Scientology Celebrity Center International in Los Angeles, California. Jada was charged with getting people into Scientology, and I'm sure she'd be getting commission for it. She said, we all knew Will and Jay were Scientologists, though she added there is never any doubt amongst internal staff, so the fact that Jada was even a member and then lied about it is just crazy. Then there was the disrespect that Jada had with her relationship with Will in 2021. Ahead of his memoir release, Will admit that he and Jada had an open relationship. In an interview with GQ, Will addressed the discussion and offered further insight into the period of non-monogamy in high-end. Jada's marriage will be confirmed to the interviewer that both he and Jada have, with mutual agreement, engaged in intimate relationships outside of their marriage, while Will wouldn't elaborate on his experiences outside the marriage. He did admit that he felt guilt over considering infidelity in the early phase of their relationship due to his Christian upbringing. He added that Jada never believed in a conventional marriage. Jada had family members who had unconventional relationships, Will revealed. So she grew up in a way that was very different to how I grew up, honored Flag and Will and Jada Pinkett Smith. The relationship was Chris Rock, yeah. He has a pretty big role in their marriage. Now, Jay says that she got to know another side of Chris while they filmed and promoted the 2005 movie Madagascar together, where they both voiced different characters. I found him to be quirky, with an unexpected sweetness, and very intelligent with a biting wit that's impressive. If you are on the right side of it, she wrote about. Krishy said she would later feel the burn of being on the wrong side, though when Chris targeted her during his 2016 Oscars monologue a year, that she and will publicly sit out of the awards ceremony over the lack of nominations for industry members of color. Why me? When there were so many others who had been even more vocal. She writes now Jawas. Even more shocked over this because at one point Chris had asked her out a tone point during rumors that Will and I divorced. Chris even called to ask me out on a date once he found out I wasn't divorced. We laughed and he apologized profusely and life went on. But this wasn't her only experience with Chris. Here was the whole Oscar slap situation at the 2022 Oscars. Will slapped Chris on live television. The incident happened due to Chris being on stage presenting an award, and he made a joke about Jada and her hair, which her husband did not like it. Because Jada has been open about struggling with alopecia now after the joke gets out of his seat, got on stage and slapped. Chris then went back to his seat and continued to yell, "Keep my wife's name out of your effing mouth." Now, due to this, will be banned from the Oscars for 10 years. But when this happened, many people, I don't know if the slap was a skit between the two, or if we'll get that mad speaking about what happened. Jada said, first of all, I was really confused because as I talked about in the book, Will, and I hadn't called each other husband and wife since 2016, she said, I wasn't there as his wife, even though the world didn't know that, right? Because we hadn't been together. And then I was like, oh, Will's in trouble. Something's not right. Something has gone awry. It was so out of character that I was at a loss. I didn't know what was happening. And so I had to ground myself and just pay attention. I was as confused as everybody else. She said, now Chris wasn't the only man she had something somewhat romantic with. Jed admitted on the Red Table Talk that she had an entanglement with R&B singer August Elena during her marriage to Will. Although she maintains that they were separated at the time. Now, this could have just been a part of their open marriage situation, but August spoke about the relationship he had with her during an interview in June 2020. He said, I gave myself to that relationship for years of my life, and did truly and deeply love and have a ton of love for her. Now, he went into claim that Will knows about their relationship and even gave August and Jada his blessing. Now, this was the first time it was announced to the world, and people were genuinely shocked when this first happened. The couple issued a quick statement denying that Jada had our relationship with August, but shortly after, Jay announced on Twitter that she was taking herself to the Red Table then. A month later, the Smiths sat down at their Red Table and discussed their relationship. They spoke about a dark period in their marriage where they thought they were going to separate and never speak again. That's when Jay and August began their relationship. Or what Jada calls an entanglement. Now, Will denied permitting August, but didn't know that the two were seeing each other. Now, eventually, August and Jada broke things off, which led to Jada and Will rekindle their relationship and working on their marriage. So they got back together. Now, their relationship has been through so much. They're either destined for each other or they need to run away from each other. And fast, well, that's all for our list of red flags Will Smith ignored in his marriage to Jada Pinkett Smith. Now, do you think the couple should stay together? Let us know your thoughts on the comments down below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. I'm your host, Blake, and we'll see you next time. Peace.